The recording has started. Once again, good morning. Good morning to the grade 7 Gemelina class. I'm so glad
Morning,
you are
sir.
here this morning.
Morning, sir.
Morning,
So
sir.
as we
Morning,
begin our
sir.
Morning, sir.
yes, good
Morning,
morning.
sir.
Morning,
I
sir.
hope you're having a wonderful
Morning.
time. You're feeling good, and I hope you are keeping yourself healthy and, of course, happy despite our circumstance in this new normal. So as we start our day, our session this morning, let us have our morning prayer. Is there someone who wants to volunteer to lead our morning prayer? Can I request Mr. Berdilao? Nathan, can you lead us in prayer this morning?
Sige, sir.
Okay, so let us put ourselves in the presence of God. Let us pray.
The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Okay, thank you, Nathan. Let's continue with our morning prayer. O Jesus, we from Hingoog City Colleges offer you our prayers, works, joys, and sufferings of this day. We acknowledge you as our source of all wisdom and power. We implore you to grant us your blessings so that we may enjoy the fruits of our efforts and endeavors. Grant also, Lord, that we may always be united in our thoughts, words, and actions under your divine inspiration. In your goodness and mercy, protect us from all kinds of physical, emotional, and spiritual dangers, and grant also the virtues to do good to our school and our fellow men. These we ask through your Son, Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen. Holy Infant Jesus, pray for us. Holy Infant Jesus, grant us peace. So, grade 7 Gemelina, are you excited to continue with our lessons for English this week?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
That's good to hear.
Yes, sir.
Now, I hope everyone already had their books and has already read or browsed, okay, the textbook for English. Now, before we start, someone or most of you noticed that we have other people joining our class this morning. So you said they were college students. Yes, you are right. We have some visitors in our class this morning. They are college students who are soon to be, okay, or future teachers. So they will be observing our class. So they will just be here to observe. They will look into how the online class goes, how our online class is being done, and look into what we do in our lessons, our activities, and such matters. So let me request our visitors, your ates and kuyas in the college department, soon to be teachers, to introduce themselves to us this morning. So can I request those FS1 group who are joining our class for grade 7 Gemelina to kindly introduce yourselves. Let's start with, we have here Mr. Alfredo Co. Jr.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, grade 7, Gemelina. By the way, I am Ku Alfredo junior, taking up a bachelor and secondary education major in Filipino. And we are here in your GMIT class to observe and to gathered um, some strategies that sir might apply their classes. So again, good morning and thank you.
Okay, thank you. That is again Mr. Alfredo Co Jr. Now let's have Miss Almera Jean Amparo. Almera, are you using your microphone? We cannot hear you. Let's proceed to Miss Ana Priza Losdok.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, grade 7 Gemelina. So I am Ana Prisa C. Lusdok. And just like what Mr. Balana said before, we are here to observe your online class. So I hope we get along. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Ana Priza Losdok. Let's have Miss Angela Handayan.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. My name is Angela A. Handayan, and we are here to observe your class and hope nga parang magmalipayon ta this day o maminaw ta og tarong kay sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Angela Handayan. We also have Miss Angelica Adlawan.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, grade 7 Gemelina. I am Angelica Adlawan, and I am here in your class to observe. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Miss Angelica Adlawan. We also have Miss Criza May Diao.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, grade 7 Gemelina. I am Christamisi Diao. And
Good job, sir.
Okay, maybe her signal is not that good. Let's go back to Miss Almera Jean Amparo.
Hi, good morning everyone. Good morning, sir. Good morning to Gemelina, grade 7. By the way, I'm Almira Jean Amparo. I'm here to observe. I hope we have good communication og mumapik ta kang sir og tarong ha. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Almera Jean Amparo. We also have Miss Abigail Abrenica.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. I am Abigail Labrenica from Best Ed 4. So I'm here to observe. That's all. Thank you.
And that's Miss Abigail Abrenica. Let's go back to Miss Krisa May Diao.
good morning, sir. Good morning, grade 7 Gemelina. I am Christamisi Diao, and I'm here to observe. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so there you have it. Grade 7 Gemelina. We have seven future teachers who are attending and observing our class. So they will be here this week until next week. So next Tuesday, they are also present in our Google Meet class. So they will just be observing. So don't worry. They will not be asking you questions or giving you grades. I am still the one who will handle the class. They will just observe. And I hope the Gemelina students will also behave properly because they will also try to observe how the students are behaving in the online classes. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good. So before we start, can I request all Gemelina students to please type your name in the Google Meet chat box. Please type your name in the Google Meet chat box. That will serve as your attendance for today. Okay, thank you so much. I can see already your names here. You have already typed your names. So this will be your attendance, grade 7 Gemelina, for this session. So there are 37, but minus 7, 30, minus myself and my presentation 2. So there are 28 Gemelina students present this morning. I hope your other classmates will be able to join as well. But for those who are not able to join in today's session, we hope that you will view our session recording, and once it's uploaded on our YouTube, it will be placed and linked in our Google Classroom. We hope that you can always join the online class, but we cannot force you. So whenever you cannot join the online class, please take time during your vacant time or when you have already load or internet connection to please open our Google Classroom and look for the session or class recordings. We have already learned in our previous session last week that we are trying to explore the English curriculum in our curriculum guide. We know for a fact that we have to develop, okay, our macro skills in listening, speaking, reading, of course, through the literature, and then on writing with the use of our knowledge and grammar, and of course, study and thinking skills. So hopefully we can develop this, okay, these macro skills so that we can be successful in achieving what we call, if you can still remember, communicative competence. So that is part of our curriculum and also part of the GCC vision and mission. So if you can still remember, think back on what we had in our class last week. What can you remember? What was the discussion or the lesson all about? You can use the raise hand button again if you want to answer. Please use the raise hand button, or if you don't have the raise hand button, you can just type in the chat box. So what did we discuss? What did we learn from last session or last week? Okay, 3Z here has typed. It's about Tungkong Langit and Alonsina. Thank you, 3Z. That's correct. We talked about the literature, the first literature lesson in our book. It's about Tungkong Langit and Alonsina. Now, in that particular lesson, Tungkong Langit and Alonsina, we learned that, okay, Tungkong Langit and Alonsina is an example of course, you can see this now on your screen. It's a myth. Okay. Now, what kind of myth was Tungkong Langit and Alonsina? What kind of story was told in that myth, Tungkong Langit and Alonsina? What was explained in that story or myth? What actually happened to Tungkong Langit and Alonsina? Don't be shy. You can use the raise hand button if you'd like to answer. Nobody would like to answer? We know that a myth is a traditional story that is supposed to be about historical events. We also learned that it tells of how people explain why something happened. The myth tries to explain the origin or where a thing or an event, okay, began. So it tells of the explanation, okay, of things so that people, okay, during those times will be able to understand. We know that the myths that we have, okay, happened during the pre-colonial literature. And when we say pre-colonial, we talk about the stories that we have already as a country, as a culture, even before the Spanish or the Spaniards, the Spanish colonizers came to the country, before Magellan discovered the Philippines. So Tungkong Langit and Aluncina is an example of the creation myth, or a myth that talks about the creation. What was created, by the way? What was created in that myth of Tungkong Langit and Aluncina? Yes, Lady Rose?
Earth, sir.
Lady Rose, would you like to answer? What was created in that myth? The
Hev-
Okay, maybe we can have Nathan Clive Camaro to help out. Yes, Nathan Clive?
heaven and earth.
Okay, it talks about the creation of heaven and earth. What else? Thank you. By the way, Nathan, aside from the heaven and the earth, what was also created? Yes, another Nathan, Denzel Nathan.
Hill and universe.
Hell and universe, probably because they were gods and goddesses, right? Tungkong Langit and Aluncina. What else? Yes, Mary Angela.
Trees, sir.
Okay, the trees, the plants, the flowers. I think LJ got it right. LJ said it's about the creation of the world. Okay, the Tungkong Langit and Aluncina, that myth from Panay, okay, from the Visayas region, talks about how the world was created through the story of the quarrel or the heartbreak of Tungkong Langit and Aluncina, the breakup of the god and goddess. And so because of their breakup, and you know the reason, okay, what was the reason again why they broke up? Why they separated? Yes, Nathan Clive?
Jealousy.
Okay, because of jealousy. Who was jealous? Sino ba yung nagselos? Yes, Gerard.
Aluncina.
Aluncina.
Gerard. Okay, Aluncina was jealous. And because of her jealousy, Tungkong Langit was, okay, angry. He got
Angry.
angry and no, he evicted Aluncina. No, he um, broke up with Aluncina, but later on he realized that Aluncina was the love of his life, that he was lonely without her. And because of that, no, he wasn't able to find Aluncina in the world. That's why he just created, okay, the things that we can find on earth. That is again an example of a myth. So for the Panay people, the people in Panay, that's how they explained, okay, why the world, the trees, the mountains, and everything there is was created. Of course, different cultures will have different stories or myths about creation. In our Bible also, we have the story found in the book of Genesis, how God created the world. That is for the Christian or the Catholic, okay, belief, Catholic culture. So all of these, no, all of these are, okay, trying to explain to us, okay, something about the origin, about the tales of the heroes, of the legends, of the fables. Okay, and they are all considered as myth. Okay, now for this morning, we shall go into the grammar lesson for our unit. So we are done with our literary selection. We shall proceed to grammar. And we shall focus on okay, parts of speech. So it is expected that today you should be able to distinguish, okay, the parts of speech that will be presented. We shall take only 3 parts of speech. There are 8, but for this morning, we shall take 3 parts of speech. And of course, when you can distinguish them, you can be able to use them or apply your knowledge of the parts of speech that will be presented this morning when you do your tasks or when you are given activities. Now, this lesson on the parts of speech is actually just a review of the things that you should have learned during your elementary, during your grade 4, I think, grade 5, and grade 6. You should have explored these 8 parts of speech. Okay, so the 8 parts of speech, you can see it there in the illustration. Okay, we have noun, pronoun, and verb. So that first 3, those are the things that we shall, okay, tackle or discuss this morning. And the rest of them, adjective, adverb, preposition, conjunction, interjection, will be discussed in the next sessions. So we shall take noun, pronoun, and verb. Is everyone familiar with this?
Yes.
Of
Yes, sir.
course.
Yes,
Of
sir.
course, you
Yes,
should
sir.
be familiar with noun, pronoun, and adjective. Now we shall examine them as we go through and of course discover some of the things that we might not have realized or not have known. Probably we have basic knowledge, basic level knowledge of noun, pronoun, and a verb. But we shall advance them through knowing what are the things that are in them or among the specialties of each part of speech. Of course, when anyone is asked, what is a noun? Immediately your answer will be the noun or a noun is a name of person, animal, place, thing, and idea. So we know for a fact that nouns are name words, or they are words that name things, or they give a name to something. So I will share to you a video clip of what is a noun or nouns coming from the Khan Academy YouTube site.
Hello, grammarians. Welcome to the English parts of speech. We're going to begin with the noun, the lovely, wonderful noun, your friend and mine. They're mostly what you're going to encounter in sentences. Most sentences in English contain at least one noun or a pronoun, but we'll get to pronouns later. A noun is basically anything, and I know that's not an especially helpful definition, but we'll get more specific in a minute. A noun is basically anything at all. Now, the way this is taught in traditional grammar is to say that a noun is a person, place, or thing, which is fine. I think we can make that a little bit sharper and expand that out by saying that that nouns are people or living things, places, things, or ideas. I think ideas is the one that usually gets left out. So nouns can be people, places, things, and ideas. Let's put that in action. So this is Raul. He is from Argentina. He is a penguin. Raul has big dreams. Now, okay, so I want to take these 3 sentences and find the nouns in them using the test. So the test is it a person or a living thing, a place, a thing, or an idea? And if it's any of those things, then it falls into the category of words in English, which we call nouns. So, sentence number 1, this is Raul. What is Raul? Well, Raul is a person or a living thing, so we're just going to say person, so noun. Next sentence, he is from Argentina. Now, Argentina happens to be a place, so therefore it is also a noun. It's a kind of noun called a proper noun, just like Raul is, but we'll get to that later. So Argentina is a noun. Argentina, incidentally, is a country, and the word country is also a noun because it is a thing. So, since the third, he is a penguin. Now, a penguin is a living being or a thing, so we can say, oh yes, penguin, that is a noun as well. So you've noticed I'm not circling he or this. These words are pronouns or relative pronouns, and they can sometimes behave like nouns, but I wouldn't call them nouns. That'll just get confusing. So these are pronouns, and we'll get to them later. Sentence number 4, Raul has big dreams. So here we have Raul again. We know from the first sentence that it's a person's name. So we're just going to say this is also a noun again. And dreams. Now, a dream isn't a person, a place. It's not, it's a thing, sure. The reason I put in idea as a fourth category is to get at stuff that you can't pick up. Like, for example, so dream, yes, dream is a noun. Dream is maybe a little tangible because it's something you can imagine, but the idea of like a word like bigness, or if you prefer, size. The size of Raoul's plumage was astonishing. Look at that gorgeous plumage. It's a little penguin mohawk. The size of Raoul's plumage was astounding. Now, in that sentence, size is a noun, but it's not a physical thing. It's not a person. It's not a place. It's not something you can pick up. It's an idea. So that's why I include this fourth category. So if you're trying to figure out whether or not a word is a noun, just apply this test. Ask yourself, is it a person, a place, a thing, or an idea? And you, my friend, will be golden. You can learn anything. David out.
Okay, so in that video, it was further explained to us that, of course, nouns are name words and ideas are part of, what we consider as nouns. Now, viewing this picture, what are the possible nouns that we can state from the image? So using our Google Meet chat box, just type any noun that we can find, in this picture. Okay, somebody said here, person. Charles said, lake. Nathan Clive, basket. Another person, there's a place. So what are the name words that we can find here? Okay, there's a river, probably it's also a river. Someone said lake, but this can be a river too. Trees. Okay, hat. Okay, there's a hat. Okay, person. I think many answered person. Table. Okay, very good. So probably these are the words that we consider, or the nouns that we can find in the picture. Okay, boy, grandmother, lake, basket, table, teapot, trees, flowers, okay, grass, bowl, hat, bread. Probably the little boy is holding a bread. Very good. Somebody said chair. Okay, so you really notice that one. So they are the name words, or the words that name the things that we can find, name the people, name the objects, or if there is an animal, or if there is an idea. Okay. Now we have types of nouns. We call the types of nouns are divided into two categories. We have the proper nouns, and then we have the common nouns. Now, when we say proper nouns, they are specific names of a person, a place, or thing, and it is always capitalized. Okay, the first letter of a proper noun is capitalized. That's why we consider that a proper noun because it is a specific thing, a specific name. And when we say common, okay, common nouns, we look into the generic name. Okay, when you say generic, it's the ordinary name of an item in a class or group, and it's not capitalized unless, of course, it is used in the beginning of a sentence or a title. So when we say common nouns, they're generic names. When you say generic, it is the common name or the ordinary name of a thing or an object or a person as that thing belongs to a group or a class. You see, a class is not just a classroom, but a particular grouping of things. That's why when we say country, country is a common noun. Well, a proper noun would be the name of a country, which is, example, our very own, Philippines. And then, of course, when you say like a food item, a thing, like donut, that's a common term, okay? General term for a group of donuts. But what about for a proper name? So we have a brand. We say Krispy Kreme donuts. So that's already specific. Or you will say Dunkin' Donuts or Mr. Donut or Jayco donut. You can also say country, common noun. A proper noun would be Australia, Thailand, New Zealand, United States of America. So we know the difference between common noun and proper noun, especially that proper nouns are always capitalized, okay? We use capital letters at the beginning of the proper noun. And we can also identify nouns. Okay, we identify nouns into their number. When we say number, we try to distinguish whether nouns are singular or plural. So when we say singular, it's just one. Okay, so it's just one. But when we say plural,
Two or more.
okay, two or more. Very good, MJ. So two or more. Okay, but next time, please, you can also use the raise hand button. So two or more is already more than one, so it's considered plural. Of course, as in the example earlier, so from the terms we have seen in the picture, so we can see that the singular is on the other side, and then the plural is opposite the singular term. So when you say boy, okay, you have boys. Or when you say hat, the plural form is hats. Now we can identify clearly how to distinguish the nouns, whether they are singular or plural. What's that reminder or a sort of clue that will make us know, okay, this one is singular, this one is plural? Yes, MJ.
Ang S kung plural.
Okay, when the noun, when the noun has S or ES, in the example grass, then there is an addition of ES, it becomes grasses. Okay, then you have table, then you add an S, it becomes tables. So when we add S or ES at the end of the word, then the noun becomes a plural term. But there are also nouns which become plural, but they are not using the S or ES in the ending. Are you familiar already with what we call, okay, the nouns that do not end in S or ES, but are also considered plural? Okay, we also consider what we call the irregular nouns. When you say irregular nouns, these nouns form their plural, okay, in a different way. The regular nouns, it forms their plural with S or ES. But for the irregular, it changes some parts of the word or the spelling. We say child if it's only one. But there are many. If there are many, more than one child, then we use the plural term children. Can you still remember in elementary how to make plural forms of the irregular nouns? So child, it's just one. But we have many, so it's plural, it becomes children. Also, in this particular example, the singular is on the left side, to your left side as you view, and then the plural is in the highlighted blue, okay, corner. So woman, the plural form is women. It's not woman, it's women. So woman, women. Then you have person, if it's one person. But we use plural form of person. It's not persons, but people. We use the term people. Okay. Sometimes two persons. The correct is two people. Okay, or five people. And then we have goose. Do you know what a goose is?
Yes.
Sir.
Okay, goose is?
Duck.
Okay, is it a duck? It's a type of feathered
No.
animal, gansa. Diba? We have goose, singular, and then the plural is geese. Then you have one tooth. Okay, tooth is just one. Then you have the plural teeth for many, no? Teeth. If it's just one, it's mouse. Okay? But if there are more than one, it's mice. Although some people just use rats. But rats. But if it's mouse, it should be mice. And there is also deer. But you don't call many deer deers. It's just deer. No, so these are the irregular nouns. So there are nouns that form the plural, or their plural form is not with S or ES. Now, can you name or can you state some other irregular nouns? What are these nouns that when we form their plural, some changes occur with their word structure? Yes, MJ? Would you like to give an
Foot.
answer?
Feet.
Okay, feet. Feet is singular or plural?
Plural.
Is a plural term. So what's a singular term for feet?
Foot.
Okay, foot. Okay, very good. LJ, you're raising your hand earlier.
Hindi na mag-answer, sir.
Okay, it was already answered. What about Mary Love?
Low slice.
Okay. Again, could you write that down, please, in the Google Meet chat box? Okay, Samantha here says knife. Yes, Samantha? That would be a singular term, right? What about its plural term? Okay, Jessime, correct. It's knives. So I know you have already known some of these or most of these. Okay, So try to give the plural forms of these nouns. You can just type your answer in our Google Meet chat box. I think some were given already earlier. There is already a repeat example. You have life, leaf, foot, that was already given. Mouse is already given. What about crisis and parenthesis? So these are all singular terms, singular nouns. What about their plural? Okay, life would be, okay, lives, right? Lives. Leaf would be leaves. Very good. Nathan Clive. Okay, someone answered also wife, wives as an example. Maria Chelsea. What about crisis and parenthesis? What's a plural form for crisis and parenthesis? Okay, there you go. So for crisis, it becomes crisis. Parenthesis, parenthesis. So there's actually a slight change in the vowel or the placement of the vowels. Okay, for crisis and crises. Parenthesis, parenthesis. So there are a lot of irregular nouns, and you can browse through them to find how they are formed in a correct plural manner. Okay, so again, before we proceed, we know already that nouns could be a common noun or proper noun, and then it could be singular or plural. But beyond that one, we need to know what are the functions of nouns. How do we use nouns? Okay, how do we use nouns? Okay, in our writing or even in our speaking. So there are actually eight functions of nouns, but we're going to take up the first 5 only. Okay, some of the lessons will be in the next grammar lessons in future units or chapters. So for this day, we shall talk about the functions of the nouns according to. Okay, so nouns can function as subject, as direct object, indirect object, subject complement, or object complement. So these are the functions of nouns. Okay, most commonly, these 5 becomes function of the nouns. Now let me ask before we proceed, do you have ideas already how noun functions? Did you have this discussion during your grade 6 or perhaps even grade 5? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I
Yes,
hope
sir.
you have already remembered. So when we say noun functioning as subjects, now when we say subject, we know that the subject of the sentence is a person, a place, or thing that is doing or being the verb in the sentence. So the subject is actually the focus of the action. Who is doing the action? Or what is that something being about? So in the examples, Cindy went to the plaza last Sunday morning. The technician repaired Jomar's laptop quickly. Teenagers most of the time use TikTok as a pastime. So those words in red are the nouns. Name of person, Cindy. Technician is also a name of person. That's a common name. Teenagers is a name for person. And they are used as the subject. They are the ones being talked about in the sentence. So basically, in most cases, nouns become the subject and function as a subject in a sentence. So this is very easy. Also, we have the direct object. Nouns can function as direct object. Now, when we say direct object. What does a noun do? Okay, so if a noun receives the action performed by the subject, if the noun receives the action performed by the subject, then we call that noun the direct object. Let's look at the example. The technician repaired Jomar's laptop quickly. Now, in this sentence, we know that the one doing the action, who is the one doing the action?
The technician.
Subject.
Technician.
Okay, the subject is the technician.
Technician.
Now, what did the technician do?
Repaired the laptop.
Okay,
Repair
repaired.
the laptop.
Very good. The action of the technician is repaired. Now, the action is repaired. Now, where did that action, okay, or what receives that action? What is repaired?
A laptop.
Laptop.
Okay, the laptop. So the laptop there, the laptop is a thing, right? It's a noun. So therefore, it receives the action of repair. Since the thing, the noun that is repaired, the action, repair, is a laptop, the laptop is considered the direct object. It means it's the receiver of the action. The technician repaired. Repaired what? Laptop. In the second example, teenagers most of the time use TikTok as a pastime. Teenagers most of the time. Okay, so what do the teenagers do? Use. And what is being used?
TikTok.
Okay,
TikTok.
so TikTok is the direct object, okay, of the verb. No? What about when we say indirect object? Okay, we say indirect object. Now, the indirect object, okay, is a noun. Okay, a noun that receives the action of a direct object. Okay, so a noun that receives the action of the direct object. Remember the difference now of the direct object. The direct object receives the action of, okay, the subject, right? Or it receives the verb. Okay. Now in the indirect object, it receives the action of the direct object. So sumpay siya sa direct object. In this example, the mathematics teacher gave the students an assignment. The mathematics teacher gave the students an assignment. So who is the one doing the action? Who is the subject here? Our subject is?
Mathematics.
Okay, the teacher, no? The math teacher. The math teacher did something, an action. What did the math teacher do?
An assignment. Give the student an
Okay.
assignment.
Give an
The
assignment.
action is giving. Okay, the math teacher gave, no? So it's giving. Now, what did the teacher give?
An assignment.
Assignment.
So assignment, okay, assignment is what we call the direct object. Diba? Unsay gihatag? Assignment. So assignment is the direct object. Now, the question now is, to whom did the assignment, or to whom was the assignment given? Kisa may gitagaan sa assignment?
The student.
The student.
The student.
The students now, yes, the students now receive the action of the direct object. Asa man padulong nga assignment? Students. So the students is what we now call or label as indirect object. Indirect object. Another example, Stephen passed the ball to Anthony. Stephen passed the ball to Anthony. Anthony here is the indirect object. Stephen is the doer of the action. He is the subject, the noun. Stephen made an action. An action is passed. Yung gipasa. What did he pass?
Ball.
The ball.
Ball. Ball.
The ball is the direct object. Where did he pass the ball?
Anthony.
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 Anthony. So Anthony
Anthony,
is
sir.
the one
Anthony.
receiving, okay, the one receiving the direct object, the ball. So Anthony becomes the indirect object. Is this clear now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very good. Another is we consider nouns also to function as subject complement. Okay, subject complement. Now, when we say nouns functioning as subject complement, if a noun follows a linking verb and identifies or describes the subject, that noun is considered a subject complement when that describes the subject in a sentence. In our example, Miss Gladys is our math teacher. The red box is the gift I got last year. Now, in this sentence, the subject is Miss Gladys. Miss Gladys is our math teacher. Is an example of a linking verb or verb of being. Math teacher, okay, which is after is, okay, refers to the teacher there. No? Math teacher identifies or describes the subject. Who is Miss Gladys?
A teacher.
Our
Okay,
teacher.
our math teacher.
Our teacher.
So, since Gladys, Miss Gladys, and teacher, okay, is used, no? The teacher is now used to describe Miss Gladys. Teacher is a noun, a name of person. That's why teacher is the subject complement. Okay, if the noun will tell something of the subject, then that becomes subject complement. Munang subject complement, it complements, it completes the subject. So Miss Gladys is our math teacher. The red box is the gift I got last year. The subject here is the red box, the box actually. The box is, okay, it's a linking verb. The gift I got last year. So gift is now describing, okay, the box. What is this red box? Okay.
A gift.
Okay, it is the gift that I got last year. So the red box is being described by the gift or gift. So gift is a subject complement. So the noun gift, it's a thing. It serves as or functions as subject complement. Then we also have, okay, object complement. Okay, object complement. Now, when we say object complement, okay, if a noun, a word that follows a direct object to state what it has become, okay, to state what it has become. So, a direct object, is being followed by a noun that will tell what happened to the direct object. An object complement is not the same as an indirect object. Okay? So let's get that clear. So in this example, Sir Arnold named Melvin the class president. Sir Arnold is our subject. Sir Arnold named, the action of Sir Arnold named. Whom did Sir Arnold name?
Melvin.
Melvin. So Melvin
Melvin.
receives the action. So Melvin is the direct object. Now, what happened to Melvin?
Become the class president.
So Melvin so Melvin became the class president. So Melvin, as the direct object, something happened to him. And what happened to him? He became the class president. So class president is an example of object complement. The noun, class president, it's a name of person, a type of person. So happens, no? It became the state of Melvin to become the class president. My classmates chose Laura as the group leader. My classmates chose Laura as the group leader. So the classmates or your classmates, they are the subject. No? They are the subject. What did the classmates do?
Choose.
Chose Laura as the group leader.
They choose.
The
Whom
group
did
the
they
leader.
choose?
They are
So they
Laura.
choose Laura. So Laura is the direct object. Laura receives the action choose. What happened to Laura?
As the group
Laura.
leader.
Group leader.
She became the group leader.
Became the group leader.
Group leader.
The group leader is the object complement. So this is object complement. Are there any questions or clarification before we proceed?
Wala na, sir.
Okay, so let's have a recap.
Wala na, sir.
Nouns can have the function of being an object complement. It can also be a subject complement if it describes the subject. It can be an indirect object if it receives the direct object. It is a direct object if it receives the verb or the action of the subject. And of course, it can act as a subject, the one doing the action. So far we have discussed on the nouns as common and proper, their number, singular or plural, and then its function, subject, direct object, indirect object, subject complement, and object complement. Now let's try some interactive activity using an online application called Quizziz. Do you know how to use Quizziz already? Have you tried Quizziz in your other classes?
No,
Yes,
sir.
but I
Yes, sir.
Okay,
not yet.
very good.
Yes, sir.
Not yet? What subject did you use Quizziz?
Till math.
Harapan.
Math. Till math.
Science.
Arapan.
Very good. So
Harapan. Science.
I'm sending a link now. Okay, that's a Quizziz. So you join that because I created also a Quizziz account. So I'm sending the link, the Quizziz account. Now,
sir?
it's just the same. I just copied the same. So when you join the Quizziz account, you will be asked to give an email of your parents or guardians, right? So when you will be asked to give your parents' email, I want you to use my email as your parent or guardian's email. So I'm sending it here. My email, you have to use this one as your parent's email. Okay, so yes, Tracy.
Sir, asan ibutang sir kanang din sa continue with Google or sign up with email?
Use your continue with Google since you are using your Google account.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, pwede ako email na, sir?
Yes, you can use your own email, but when it will ask you of your parents' email, use my email. It's josephbalana501@gmail.com. I will be considered as your parent because I'm your teacher. Okay? So if it's asking you of the email of your parents, just use my email. Have you tried it now? Are you doing it right now?
Nana ko, sir. Nana ko dito, sir.
Okay, very good. So in a short while, I will be assigning you a quiz, an interactive quiz, so that you can play something on the quizzes.
Unsa ganito yung email, sir?
It's in the group chat here in the Google Meet. josephbalana501@gmail.com.
Okay na, sir.
Yes, Princess Liana?
Sir, mag-unsa sa Google Meet, sir?
What do you mean Google Meet? We're having our Google Meet right now. In the quiz is. You mean the quiz is? Yes, Jessame?
Sir, log in or sign up?
Log in. Just log in. You already have your quizzes, right? If you have your quizzes in your other subjects, you used already the same account. But if you did not have, you can just sign up. I thought you used already quizzes in math and science and other subjects, meaning you already have your quizzes account.
Wala pa man, sir.
Sir, nakasulod na ko.
Okay, very good.
Sir, unsay tuplo ko na tong how are your quizzes, sir?
How are you using quizzes? Just click personal. Just click personal. It has their school, diba? School,
At
work.
school ra ba akong gituplog, sir?
It's okay if you use school, okay? You can use school or personal.
Sir, na code, sir.
Okay, so I'll be giving you a code now.
Sir, nakasunod ako, sir, na lagi mga picture dito, sir.
Yes, of course, because that is my account for your class, for your quizzes. Okay, for a while, I shall be sharing a quizzes code.
Sir, wala pa may ansiran, sir. Magulat pa may sa imo.
Yes, you have to wait. I will give you the code in a few minutes. Okay, so here's the code now. Those who have entered the quizzes account, okay, use the code 507703. So 507703, that's the Quizziz code. That is a quiz on identifying the plural forms of some irregular nouns. So it's just a practice quiz. Okay, try entering the code 507703. I already have seven students. You can start playing the game. Yes, Shamel.
At a school akong i-enter here.
Yes, just you can use at a school or personal. Yes, Nathan Ladaga.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're welcome. Nathan? Charles Nathan?
Avocado Israel lagi ang pangalan sa your quiz's name is
Yes, it's okay. Your quiz's name is generated automatically there. Your names will not appear there. This is just a practice quiz. So your names will be different character names from the quiz's account.
okay,
Just
thank
take note of your names as you will see your score. Yes, Troy?
Ano email ibutang?
Parents' email?
Yes, sir.
Okay, use my email. You can use my email as your parents' email, josephbalana501@gmail.com. Yes, Chelsea, is there any problem? You will know your names in the quizzes, it will appear. I have already 19 students here playing the quizzes. Yes, Jessa?
Sir, di ko kabalog play.
You're just going to choose, it's a multiple choice thing. You're just going to click your answer in choosing your answer. I think your other classmates have started already. Okay, they have started answering already. Yes, LJ, wala imo. What do you mean wala imo?
Naladay, sir.
Okay. So you just try, just a practice quiz of 16 items. So there are 23 players, as you can see now on the screen. Princess? Kasi wala ni mo nakita, Princess? Okay, so we have already our top players here. You have Yuka Yusuf. Who is Yuka Yusuf? Followed by Okra Okonkwa and Avocado
Ako na si
Azrael.
Yuka Yusuf, sir.
Okay, you're top one right now. And Cardamon Chastain and Tef Trafter. Okay, they're changing the ranks now. Dandelion Kurui. Then we have Jabutshaba Min. Yes, then po Era, Stella. What are the concerns? Lady Rose also. Dili mo maka-access sa Quizziz
Mana
account?
ako, sir.
LJ?
Sir?
Okay na? Wala na yung problema?
Mana
Sa
ako, sir.
Okay na.
Sir, ako, sir.
Okay, just click the link. Okay, just click the link, Lady Rose. Katong Quizziz nga akong gihatag nga link. Okay na? Chelsea also?
Sir, dili ko pa kasulod.
Unsay quiz name?
The quiz name, the code is 507703. That's the quiz code.
Mana ko,
Okay,
chair.
very good. If you're done, let's just give some time to your classmates who are not done playing. So if you're done, let's have a short 10-minute break. Okay, 10-minute break if you're done. For the rest, if you want to continue, so continue playing. And then after 10 minutes, I shall be ending or closing the game and see who among you is the top scorer. So you can take your snacks or take a few minutes break, screen break, so that your eyes will not be tired of looking at the screen and your gadgets. Okay, very good. If you're done, you can take a few minutes break.
Manako, sir.
Okay,
Sir, done ako, sir.
very good. I shall be ending the quiz now, whether you are not yet done. So I just want you to practice using this interactive Quizziz application. So I'm going to end this now, and let's see our top scorers. Okay, so in third place, we have Okra Okonkwo. Who is Okra Okonkwo?
Ako, sir.
Okay, Samantha Louise. So you got third place in this quizzes. In second place, we have Yuka Yusuf. Who's Yuka
Ako na,
Yusuf?
sir.
Who's that again? Yuka Yusuf?
Ako na, sir.
Nathaniel Lugsanay. And in first place, we have Tamarillo Twist. Who is Tamarillo Twist? Tamarillo Twist. Anyway, it's a 16-item quiz, right? Actually, there are many who got perfect, but the top three, the ones who finished first, okay, are Tamarillo, Yuka, and Okra. The rest also got perfect. So did you enjoy the quizzes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I thought you did not, you already played this one in your other classes. Did you use this one already, the quizzes?
Answer man to, sir. Dili man to duha, sir. Answer man to.
Answer lang.
Google Docs.
Boring kay to,
Link.
sir. Kaysa din
Link, gyapon to.
Bebo.
It was a Google Forms. I thought you were using a Quizziz, something like what we did earlier. Okay, that was a Google Forms. Okay, wherein you just click. Of course, we can have also that one, but let's try also something that will not make you bored, especially in the online class. So would you like more of Quizziz next time?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anak gyapon, sir. Kita na kayo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's good to hear. Although some of you, it might be hard to access, medyo lisod pa lang i-access karon, but when you get to play or explore the quizzes, it will be easier the next time we're going to use this one. Yes?
Sir. Gay kay ko
Yes, Lady Rose?
Apil
It's
ko
okay,
sir
Lady
dugay
Rose.
kay ko nakasulod.
Okay. Sometimes
sir.
our signal, the signal,
Ako
our
sir
internet
dugay kay
connection.
ko nakasulod, sir. Nakadulak, sir.
It's okay. You can still have time to play, no? You can actually explore. Before we will end our session this morning, I shall give also another quizzes game. But let's continue. So the quizzes that you had is just for nouns, right? It asks you to identify the plural forms of some irregular nouns. Now, moving forward, okay, we had the functions already. Let's have the pronouns. Okay.
Hello, grammarians. We're going to start.
Sorry. Okay, so pronouns. Now, what are pronouns? After the nouns, this is immediately the next part of speech. So we know that pronouns, okay, are words that stands for a noun or another pronoun. So pronouns are considered as substitutes. They substitute the noun. So to explain further, let's listen to two video clips about pronouns.
Hello, grammarians. We're going to start talking about pronouns today. And of course, that begins with the question, what are pronouns? Allow me to answer that question by way of a demonstration. Emma laughed so hard, milk came out of Emma's nose. Zach lifted the log. Zach found a worm under the log. So these sentences don't have pronouns, but what they do have is repeated nouns. You know, we have Emma, and then we say Emma's again, and then we say Zach and the log, and then we say Zach and the log. But people are smart, right? We have relatively long attention spans, and so if we start off a sentence talking about Emma, and we're pretty sure that we're still talking about Emma, we don't need to say that name twice. We don't need to say Emma and then Emma again. So what a pronoun does is it allows you to take out the unnecessary noun. When we're very certain we know what we're talking about, so you don't have to say Emma a million times, you can replace Emma with her. Same thing applies to the second two sentences. We don't have to keep on mentioning Zach and the log when we know what we're talking about. So the first sentence will still read Zach lifted the log, but then in the second sentence, we can replace the name Zach, since we already know who we're talking about, with the word he, and we can replace this little phrase, the log, with it, since we know we're talking about the log. Now words like her and he and it are all pronouns. So what are pronouns? They are words that stand in for other words. Now obviously her, he, and it are not the only pronouns in English, but for now I just want you to think about the idea that a pronoun is a word that stands in for another word. You can learn anything. David out.
English pronouns. Subject pronouns, object pronouns, possessive adjectives, possessive pronouns, reflexive pronouns, first person, I, me, my, mine, myself, second person, you, your, yours, yourself. Third person, male, he, him, his, himself. Third person, female, she, her, hers, herself. Third thing, it, its, not used, itself. First person plural, we, us, our, ours, ourselves. Second person plural, you, you, your, yours, yourselves. Third person and thing, plural. They, them, their, theirs, themselves.
Hello, grammarians. We're going to
English
start talking
pronouns.
about pronouns.
Okay, so from the videos that we have seen and you have heard, so we already know that we can categorize pronouns. Okay, the pronouns substitute for the nouns. They replace or take the place of a noun. So there are three major classifications of pronouns. They are personal, demonstrative, and then indefinite. Now, when we say personal pronouns, we are talking about, okay, a personal pronoun talks about, okay, a specific person or thing. So it refers to a specific person, a specific place, or a specific thing or idea. That's why we call it personal pronouns. Now, these personal pronouns, okay, changes in many ways. As you have seen in the second video clip, it changes in the following ways: according to the person, according to number, according to gender, and according to case. Now, the cases of the pronoun, you have the, okay, subjective case, the objective case, and then the possessive case. The gender of the pronoun also refers to, is it a male or female describing pronoun? The number refers to, is it singular, just one, or is it plural, more than one? It also tells of the person. The person is labeled in pronouns as, is it the first person, meaning the one who speaks himself or herself, the speaker, that's the first person? Is it the second person, the one that the speaker is talking to? Or is it the third person? It's the third person is considered to be the others aside from the speaker. So as in the chart that we have seen earlier, okay, I think we can look at these in these terms. Okay, so when you say, in this chart, I hope this is clear on your screen. So when you say the pronouns, okay, changes in person. Okay, so we have the changes in person, first, second, and third person. But we also consider the changes in person according to singular or plural number. And also, we consider the gender. Is it referring to a male or a female? And then the case. The case are the following: subject, object, possessive, possessive adjective, possessive pronouns, and then we have the reflexive pronouns. The reflexive pronouns actually refer to the pronoun itself, or mirrors the pronoun again. So let's look at first the singular. Okay, the singular meaning only one. Okay, in the singular number, we have the first person. When you say first person, and it's a subject, meaning the subject pronouns are the ones that are doing the action, or the ones that is referred to as the doer, no, of the action. So when you say object pronouns, the pronoun receives the action of the verb. Okay, it receives the action. Kung subject, it is the one doing the action. So first person, okay, singular, I. I is the first person singular, and okay, that is a subject pronoun. No? Kung sa subject, meaning ikaw ang naghimo, okay, the doer of the action, first person I. No? As a speaker, ako, I. But if you're talking to someone, we call that one the second person. And we use that as you. Okay, you. If you're talking to another person, okay, a male person, but just one, singular, we say he. Okay, he. If you're talking to another person, but is a woman, a female, so you're going to use she. Okay, that's for the subject, no? Singular. But if it's plural, okay, I mean, there is also a third thing. If you're not talking to a person, but you're talking to a thing, okay, and it's just one thing, then you use it. Okay, it. In the plural, okay, plural form, in the first person, meaning plural daghan, including yourself, so you use we. Okay, we. Kita. No? Tayo. Tayong lahat. Kitang tanan, we. In the second person, plural, it's still the same. No? You. Only the second person, whether singular or plural, uses you. Y-O-U. And if it's a third person and thing, okay, third person or thing, plural, di naman na siya may bawaan kung nabay male or female. So kay sagol naman, kay daghan, plural. Third person subject is they. Sila. Sila. Now if it's object, okay, meaning object, you are the receiver. No? You are the receiver of the action. Okay? Object of the verb. So first person, object, singular, me. No? Me. Second person is still you. Third person, him. Him. Third person, her, which is female. And then third person, thing. Okay? So a third thing, not anymore a person, it. For plural, first person, object, us. Okay, us. Second person, still you. No, you ang gamiton. And then third person or thing, plural, them. And then you have also possessive. Okay, when you say possessive adjectives, okay, it talks about, okay, ownership. No, kinsay tag-iya. No, it refers to the ownership of things. Possessive adjectives and possessive pronouns. So you use my or mine, your, yours, his, his, her, hers, its, only its for the third thing in possessive. And then in the plural, our, ours, your, yours, their, theirs. Now you notice in the possessive adjectives, they are called adjectives, possessive adjectives, because you have to attach, okay, a noun, okay, after the possessive adjective form. When you say, my ball pen, okay, so my ball pen there is described, okay, as my ball pen. Akong ball pen. Kasi tagya sa ball pen, ako. Akong ball pen. Or his mother. His mother. So mother is a noun described by his mother. Kinsa nga mama? Iyang mama. No? Our classroom. Our classroom. So the possessive adjectives will have a partner noun. So after the possessive adjective, there must be a noun so that that noun can be described. No? Kinsay tag-iya dadto nga thing or kinsay tag-iya dadto. So the possessive adjectives will describe that one. And the possessive pronouns, okay, it marks the ownership. It marks the ownership of what is already, okay, referred. For example, this is mine. For example, you're holding a ball pen. This ball pen is mine. Also, you're claiming your ownership. Okay? Or, this is already yours. So, I'm giving this to you. So, yours, ikaw na ang tag-iya. Okay? The test papers are theirs. So, sila. Kasi tag-iya, sila. So, remember, possessive adjectives, okay, will have a partner, no? After them, there's a word, there's a noun. Then possessive pronouns actually claim the ownership. Yes, MJ?
Wala man siya, natuklupan.
Okay. I thought you would like to ask something. And then you have there in the last column, reflexive pronouns. When you say reflexive, it is a reflection. It goes back to the pronoun itself. Myself. What does it mean by my? Imong kaugalingon, self. Yourself. Himself. Herself. Itself. So it goes back to the reference of the same pronoun. Okay? Themselves, ourselves. Okay? So it refers to the person, it refers to the pronoun, okay, acting or possessing something. I will do it myself. Meaning, I will do it myself. So who will do it? Myself. You take the test yourselves. Kisa may mag-take sa test, yourselves. Alam nga naman ang lain nga tao. So, yourselves. Ourselves are important. Ourselves. Kisa may important. Ourselves. Kisa man, akong kaugalingon, among kaugalingon. So, manang reflexive pronouns. I hope this chart is useful so you can remember that pronouns have different person, first, second, third, or if it's a thing. Then the number is singular and then plural. Then the gender, the third person, you identify the third person as male, female. And then the case, subject, object, adjective, possessive pronoun, and then reflexive pronoun. So take note of this chart so you won't forget and you will be familiar. Now we also have what we call the demonstrative. This is a second type. When you say demonstrative pronouns, what are demonstrative pronouns? They point to and identify a noun or pronoun. So they demonstrate, okay? They point to the noun or the pronoun. The demonstrative pronouns also signal the distance of the speaker. Okay, it signals the distance of the speaker. So what are these demonstrative pronouns? Okay, so this, that, these, those. Okay, very simple and very easy to remember. So the demonstrative pronoun again demonstrates, it points out, yung ginatudlo. You have singular and plural demonstrative pronouns, but we look into the distance to the speaker. So when an object, a pronoun or a noun, a thing, is near, duol sa imo nga nagistorya. So you use this if it is, okay, near to you. If it's singular, No? Isa nga duol sa imo o imong gihawiran gyud. If there are many, plural, these. These. So if it's only one, nga duol sa imo, near the speaker, or the speaker is holding, this. If it's many, and it's near to you, these. These. But if it's far, layo, sa nagistorya, imo pang gitudlo, you're pointing it. If it's just one, singular, nga layo, far, that. That. But if it's plural, daghan sila, and it's far away from you as the speaker, those. Okay, so don't forget that. That, those, kung layo. This, these, kung duol. And singular, this, plural, these. Kung duol o sa imo. Kung layo, that, singular, those, plural. That's why you have to, okay, be careful, no? Ang this o that, singular. Ang these o those, plural. Pag duol, isa lang, this. Pag daghan, these. Pag layo, isa, that. Pag layo, daghan, those. Claro? Is this clear now? Demonstrative pronoun?
Yes, sir.
Dapat lang. This is a review already from the grade 6. Then we have indefinite pronouns. What are indefinite pronouns? What are indefinite pronouns? So indefinite pronouns do not substitute the nouns. Okay? Sir, di ba ang pronoun kay magpuli man? They substitute the nouns. But in this case, the indefinite pronouns do not substitute as nouns. They act as nouns themselves. They act as, okay, nouns. So what are these examples of indefinite pronouns? Okay, so we have here a chart. It already labels the always singular, meaning always singular, only one ang pasabot, or singular in number. And then there's always plural, okay, plural. And then there is either singular or plural. So these are indefinite pronouns. We say indefinite, you are not sure. You are not sure when you say everyone. No? Everyone, kinsa man si everyone? Everyone. Tanan. Kinsa man ang tanan? Basta kay tanan. But it is considered singular. No? Or when you say anyone. Anyone. Kinsa may anyone? Bisan kinsa. Pila man kabuk ang bisan kinsa. Anyone. Anyone isa raman. Anything. Bisan unsa. Unsa man ang bisan unsa? Basta kay anything. Anything. Somebody or someone. Who is that someone? Someone. Basta naa. Pila ka buok. Someone, isa ra gyud. No? Or no one. Kinsa man, no one. Wala, wala. Pila man ang wala. Wala galing. That's why we consider that singular. And then there is always plural. Okay? Both. Both means two things, di ba? Both. Many. Others. Or several. Few. Few. Gamay raman ang few, sir. Na, ang gamay na di, pasabot isa. It's not. It could be two or more. Or fewer. Fewer but not one. So daghan gyapon ang pasabot dana. Few students attended the online class. Pila man kabuok? Few students. So dili kay isa ra ang nag-apil. Pero sobra pa sa isa. Few students. Or the others are not joining because of internet, no internet connection. Others, pila kabuk ang others? Daghan, pila kabuk duha? O daghan naman na ang duha. Dili naman kay isa, so always plural. But we have also the singular or plural. It depends now on what noun we use or how is this modified. Okay? Some, more, most, any, all, none. Okay, they either take a singular or plural meaning. So we shall discuss this when we go to subject-verb agreement. Just take note on, these are the examples of indefinite pronouns. So there's also another example here on using them according to persons, places, or things. Of course, for persons, you use everyone, everybody, anyone, anybody, someone, somebody. And for place, everywhere, anywhere, somewhere. And then for things, everything, anything, something. So you have their examples. Everyone must eat, drink, and breathe. Anybody can improve their English. Anyone can do it. Somebody loves me. Okay. Someone is singing my favorite song. So you have their examples now of indefinite pronouns. And let's go to the last of the parts of speech that we're going to take this morning. It's about verbs. And of course, verbs, and again, this is a review lesson. A verb expresses an action, an event, or a state of being. So verbs are action words or event or states of being. So it tells us of what the subject is doing, what the noun is doing, or what the noun is about or is having. So that's a verb, and let's view some video for verbs.
Hello, grammarians. Today I'd like to introduce you to the verb, which is another part of speech. But I suppose the most fruitful place for us to begin is by asking, what is a verb? A verb is a part of speech that has a bunch of different functions, but one of its most important functions is that it can express or show action. Verbs can show action. In order to demonstrate this, I have brought along a little cartoon bear, and I'm going to use this bear in several sentences, each of which will contain a verb, because all sentences contain verbs. So I'm going to write a couple of sentences about the bear, and every time I use a verb, I'm going to write it in yellow like that. Here we go. The bear roars. The bear runs. The bear sleeps. Now, each one of these words in yellow is a verb. Each one of them is an action, and this is the first thing that verbs can do. Verbs can show action in sentences. And in fact, all sentences must contain verbs. You can learn anything. David out.
Okay, so verbs, no? Verbs initially or at the most part, verbs refer to actions. Okay, but we know that
Hello,
there is more
grammarians.
to
Today I'd like to introduce you.
verbs. Okay, now we can classify verbs into two. We have the regular verbs and of course the irregular verbs. Okay, can somebody read out what are regular verbs? Okay, I'll have 3Z. 3Z will read regular verbs, and then MJ, you will read irregular verbs. 3Z?
regular verbs. When forming the past tense of regular verbs, or add the or ed to the present tense form of the verb.
Okay, thank you, Trizzy. So regular verbs, we know that it is a regular verb. Okay, if in the past tense, if we form the past tense, we just add d or ed. So we have cook, that's a present tense. When we make it a past tense, it becomes cooked. And irregular verbs, MJ?
Irregular verbs. Irregular verb has special past tense forms. They do not end in D or ED. You will need to memorize these special forms.
Okay, so they are special verbs, meaning when we form their past tense, we just don't add d or ed. We have to familiarize with them. For example, drive. Drive is a present tense, and when you turn it into past tense, it becomes drove. There are actually many ways that we can have irregular verb past tense or past tenses, but that will be in the next discussions. And also, you need to familiarize because some of them have certain rules in making the past tense of irregular verbs. You have also examples in your textbook, in our book. Aside from the regular, irregular verbs, okay, we can look at these examples. Okay, we have accept, accepted. Okay, all of these are examples of the regular verbs. We just add d or ed. Die, died, and ended, enjoy, enjoyed, invite, invited, mark, marked, pass, passed, review, reviewed, slow, slowed, turn, turned. They are regular because we just add d or ed. But there are also the irregular ones. If you notice, arise, arose, awake, awoke, be, it's actually the be verb. It's was or were or is. Is the present form. Then the past tense would be was. If it's are, it would be were. Then you have bear, bore, beat, beat. Oh, nothing changed. Become, became, foresee, foresaw, foretell, foretold, freeze, froze, give, gave. So you notice now how different the regular verbs are formed from the irregular verbs. But you will get a pattern later on. Okay. So this is a regular verb, d or ed, and then another one, you have to change some vowels or some of the spelling. Therefore, you make it or you identify it as an irregular verb. But all of these show action. No? Only the verb be, no? Be, was, or were, they give us the state of being. And then we also have the linking verbs. Okay, linking verbs or the helping verbs, they connect, they are just links. They do not really tell of actions. Like is, are, is a present, singular. Are is the plural, no? Present, plural. Was is the past tense for is, singular. Were is the past tense of the plural are. Then you have been, and then am. Am is used for the first person, am. The past tense of am is was. You have also other linking verbs. The verb smell, look, taste, remain, feel, appear, sound, seem, become, grow, stand, turn. They are examples of linking verbs because you use this verb, smell, you add again another word to describe it, okay, or to qualify the action. For example, The cake tastes delicious. The cake tastes delicious. What's delicious? Okay. The taste, diba? I feel sad. What are you feeling? Sad. You will not say I feel. I feel unsa sad. Or, the plant, okay, grows tall. The plant grows. No, saan siya pag-grow? Tall. Okay. They stand alone. They stand alone. They stand. Nagtindog sila. Nasa nagtindog? Alone. Atag sa tagsa. You sound awful. You sound awful. You sound. Ano siya mo sound? Awful. So that's why they are linking verbs. They link. They need a partner. They connect something. So remember this. Is, are, was, were, been, am. They are linking verbs. And of course, the other examples are also linking verbs. Okay. So the linking verbs are this one in the chart. Okay. This is actually the linking verbs on the be, no? The verbs of being. Am, is, are, was, okay, were, being, been, be. I have been to London. Been to London. Meaning you were in London. I have a headache. Say mong naa, I have a headache. I did not go to the market. I did not go. Say mong wala gihimo. Go to the market. I did not. Shall, will, should, would. Okay, so they are all linking verbs or verbs of being, and we use them, no, to link ideas between the subject and between other words in a sentence. Questions so far? Any clarification? So far we have verb, we have pronoun, and we have noun. Are these things clear and understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Yes, sir.
Again, reminders for our unified submission. So it's every first Wednesday of the month for the grade 7 and grade 8. First Wednesday. And then you can get or return, the notebooks are returned every second Friday of the month. And hopefully you have textbooks already, our grade 7 textbook, Facets, grade 7. And before we end, before I will give you another Quizziz game, okay, I want you to do this. You have already done activity task number 1, right, on your notebook?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good. I will add another one. Activity task number 2 in your notebook. So what you're going to do, you're going to answer exercise 1 on page 13. You're just going to answer directly. Okay, exercise 1, page 13. And then on exercise 2, that's 13 to 14, you copy and answer. There are instructions there on exercise 1 and 2 in your textbook. Okay, so answer directly exercise 1, and for exercise 2, you need to copy and answer. Okay, just follow through the instructions.
Isend din sa Google Classroom, sir.
No, activity notebook. Write in your activity notebook. Just write it there, and then by the time that you will be scheduled to submit, that's the time you're going to submit, because this will be written on your notebook.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Any question or clarification?
Wala, sir. Wala, sir.
Good. So thank you so much for joining today. But before that, I am going to assign to you a short quizzes on irregular verbs. So I have now already the link. This quizzes link. I'll share this on our screen. You can join this quiz 364250. Okay, the practice teacher on the FS students, you can also join this one. Just log in to Quizziz if you have Quizziz, if you can. So the game code is 364250. 250. I have already one player here. 364250. 364250. Okay. So you can continue playing. You can already leave our Google Meet. Thank you so much for joining our class this morning. God bless everyone. Just type the game code 364250. This is already placed in your Quizziz. There's an announcement there. You can just automatically click. I have 7 people already running or playing the game. Okay, so God bless everyone. See you all next Tuesday. So I will stop recording the session now. You can already leave the meeting, but you can continue to play that game until you finish.
Okay, sir. Bye-bye, sir.
God bless everyone.
Okay,
See you
sir.
all
Bye,
again
sir.
next week.
Bye, sir. Thank
I
you.
hope you enjoy the
Bye,
quiz.
sir. Thank you.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir. Thank
Bye,
you.
sir.
Bye, sir. Thank you.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Goodbye, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye.